Yeah, if we listen to this. It's that time of year again where we have the furnace on because it is freezing here in Canada, but we want to get some stuff done, so we're gonna have to bear with it. I'm so sorry it's so loud. Today's gonna be a lot of time lapsing anyways, no big deal. Let's get into it. So last video I talked a little bit about some of the parts that I ordered and some of the next steps that we have in building this car. And so one of those parts was the water pump, and I showed you in the last video that I actually installed it into the engine. I just have to now put together the rest of the engine. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Thought I'd bring you along. A little more content, a little more updates. That's what we do around here. So let me show you what we got to do. All right, so as I showed in the other day's video, this nice new looking part inside is our water pump. To get at this, we had to take off like legitimately a ridiculous amount of stuff. Like I couldn't even believe it. You know, when I built the engine, I knew what everything was, but I wasn't really thinking like, you know, about maintenance, about stuff like that as I was putting it together. Honestly, the first time I really thought about anything like that was when we were fitting the engine into the car. I wanted to make sure I could access the oil filter. Besides that, I never really thought about it. Again, I'm so sorry if that furnace is loud, holy cow. But anyways, I never really thought about it, and it's crazy if you think about it. Like, look here, we have our water pump, okay? In front of it, we have our tensioners that attach to it. We have our belt itself, our cam belt, cam chain, whatever you want to call it. To get that off, we have to take out our main crank nut, all the stuff that comes with it here. We had to take off the cam gears. We had to take off the shield behind it. We had to take off the water neck, the thermostat covering. All these little, you know, coolant tubes and stuff, they all had to come off, as well as our belt for our alternator, all the little covers, our harmonic balancer. We even had to take off the valve cover because, as you can see on this engine, the valve cover closes up and doesn't show these beautiful gears. And so we had to take that off too. We had to take off our coil packs. We had to take off so many things just to get at a part that, frankly, I don't know about on this car how robust and how often these break or not, but you know, water pump is a pretty common thing to have to change on a car, so it's pretty crazy that you have to go through this much. I couldn't imagine if you actually had a Miata that you drove every day and it needed a water pump and you brought it to Mazda to get it fixed. Like, I can't imagine the labor costs. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, you have to retime the engine, like absolutely crazy. So luckily we did all that. It's in. We don't know if it works yet, if that was our issue or not. And really I won't know until I can put it back in the car and run it through, like run coolant through our coolant system, which sucks. So hopefully everything works out. We won't know until we do that. But besides that, we're just putting this back together today. Come along for the ride and see what it's all about. Let's do it. So as we're going through the rest of this, I still have a lot to put back on, but keep in mind, I still don't really know exactly what I'm doing. You know, anytime you have a project that's difficult for you to tackle, do some research. I have two really good YouTube videos that I've been watching. One is from Car Passion channel, which his name's Greg as well. He's got some really good Miata content, so if you guys like Miatas, if you don't know about him, go check him out. But he's got a video about tearing down an engine. It's the 1.8 liter, but it's a very similar engine. And so he's got a lot of good information there, and I'm kind of just working in reverse. And then there's another one that I was using for the timing, but we're actually done that now. So really it'll just be that Car Passion channel one. As well, I have a link to all of the torque specs for all of these bolts. Some stuff doesn't matter too much if it's just holding something down, but anything that's technical or holding on, you know, attaching one thing to another, such as our, you know, our water pump to our block, you want to make sure that those are torqued correctly. Torque specs are there for a reason. Follow them if you can. That's all I gotta say. All right, next, I believe we're putting on some shields. I'm gonna pull up my video just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, and we'll see you in a minute. So next we have the upper cover, which is just this guy here. It's got a little seal that goes with it. Oh, that's close. All right, so up to this point, we have everything back on the front. So up top, we have our water neck, has our thermostat in it and our thermostat housing. We have our water pump, all of our covers, our pulley, our, I don't know what you call this, whatever. We're gonna call it a pulley today. Our pulley attaching to our alternator belt, going down to our harmonic balancer. I think I'm gonna get a new one. This thing is rough. I mean, all it really does is it turns the alternator. So I don't think it matters so much that it's like pretty rusted, but I might get a new one. They're not too expensive. The only thing we still need to do is I need to torque this main crank bolt down. But to be able to do that, I need to, one, have someone else helping me, or have this attached to the car and to the back wheels, because that needs, I think it's 84 foot-pounds of torquing, and we can't just hold the other end, like the drive shaft. It just turns. So we need either a couple people, we need to leverage some stuff, or we need it in the car attached just so it's easier. It is torqued as much as we can right now, so it's not like it's loose or anything like that, but we definitely don't want to run the car before that's torqued down. So, but we're aware of that, so we're all set. So the last thing we really need to do here is we need to put the valve cover back on. So if you guys look in here one sec, again, I know it's loud, I'm sorry. So if you've never seen inside an engine, or at least inside a dual overhead cam, these are basically our cams, and they have lobes on them. And so each of these lobes, as the engine turns, it opens and closes the intake and exhaust valves for each cylinder so that air is able to come in, fuel is able to come in, it compresses, you know, that's how kind of all of our stuff works. So these cams basically open the valve. So when you hear someone say that they got a more aggressive cam, what that's doing is it's a beefier lobe, and it's opening it more to let more air in, and then obviously you'd probably tune it to have more fuel going in, obviously making a bigger boom, bigger power, bigger, you know, I don't know, I'm learning too. But anyways, these are your cams. You have your springs inside. I don't know if we can brighten that up a bit. This was honestly the most stressful, but also the most fun part when rebuilding the engine. There's so many little tiny pieces that go into this, and that was my biggest fear, that I would mess up everything kind of in the head of the engine, this top section. And I mean, so far so good. We haven't really run the engine fully yet, so I mean, still catastrophic failure could happen. And then we just got to find another engine. But I think it'll be okay. So I just think this looks super cool. This looks like, when people think about the inside of an engine, like this looks very mechanical, and I'm proud that, like I said, I don't know if it works yet, but that I was able to at least, you know, put it all back together. All right, so we're gonna put it back on. When we're tightening this down, there's a specific order. There's a lot of specific stuff that needs to happen. I might walk you guys through it. I might just kind of show it. There's tons of videos on this online, and a quick Google search will tell you the order that you need to do things. So go do your research. All right, back to it. Now, normally I would say do not use a power tool on this. I'm gonna go very slow, and I'm not tightening them, I'm just getting them, you know, started. All right, so it is all back together now, looking back to normal. Got all my spark plugs in and my spark plug wires there. Everything's good. Everything is set to go, torqued down. The only issue we had, and I'm an idiot for this, when I was trying to reconnect this, we broke it. I'm not gonna lie, I know that has something to do with the vacuum system. I have no clue what it is, if it's important, if it's not, if it's cheap, if it's not. It's on my list of things I gotta check out now, but I think we'll be okay. It doesn't look like it would be an expensive part, so hopefully it's easy to take out. I tried fiddling with it and couldn't get it out, so I might have to go from the inside. I really don't know, but that's for another day. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the car in the next video. So thanks for coming along, guys. Once again, engine back together, ready to fight another day. We're gonna hope we don't have any more leaks. Just gotta wait and see. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Sub, follow, like, do all the things. We'll see you in the next one.